Yes, sir. We're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Articulated Comic Book Art Podcast. This is episode 66. We're starting a little bit early today, and we're going to be ending a little bit early too. So we're going to go for about an hour and 15 minutes. We don't want to cut into, well, we can't compete with Stormy Daniels on 60 Minutes tonight. So sure, a lot of people are going to be watching that and tuning into that. So we figured we'll hop on, talk about the goings on over the past week, and also talk about Photo Combat Third Strike. So this is an opportunity for anybody competing in the event to actually ask questions live right now, and we'll be discussing a bunch of stuff and going over a bunch of questions as well. But to get into our regular routine, I guess we should all talk about things that we received over the past 2 weeks. P, you're first. What you got? I know you got a bunch of shit.
I did get a bunch of shit. But now that I'm on the spot, I don't even know. I guess most notably, I got the Mezco Superman. Took advantage of that 15% off eBay coupon that was going on last week. Literally checked out at like 7:59 my time, 1 minute to spare. So pretty stoked to have that. Came super quick too. I also got those Pacific Rim Uprising figures. I went to my local True. We'll speak more of that later, but they only had the other two besides Gypsy Avenger in the first wave. Which kind of sucked because Gypsy Avenger is the one I wanted the most. But I got those. Shout out to Steven Negron, I think. Hopefully I'm saying that right. But he sold me a Gypsy Avenger and Obsidian Fury, which are literally the only two I wanted from that wave. And these Bandai figures completely shit on the old Pacific Rim figures. It's crazy. Like, I will admit, like there's more detail in the older line. But the articulation is just leaps and bounds better in this one. But I think that's all I can remember getting, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I got those figures kind of early. I reviewed a few of them. I actually saw Pacific Rim Uprising yesterday. Actually, you saw the movie yet?
Yeah, I saw it Thursday night.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about that for a brief moment too. But
yeah,
go ahead.
That's it for me. If I remember more, I'll interrupt somebody.
Rick, I saw you got some new kicks.
Yeah. Oddly enough, though, I got this is like the first time in a while that I've gotten like a huge influx of figures. I'm on my like 50th Mysterio right now.
I saw you doing the Goon Squad, Mysterio Goon Squad.
Yeah, that pick.
Mysterio Goon Squad. I'm trying to.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. Now I want to get Mysterios.
Yeah, I want to. I still want like a shitload of them before I do a picture. I think I want like 6, and then after I do the picture, I'll sell off a couple, but I'll still have a few.
Dibs.
Are you doing something different to the heads, Rick, or is that how they look straight out the package?
Yeah, I was going to ask
they look straight out of the package.
So you had all the in green.
Yeah, they all just came in white, and it looks cloudy because of that white skull on the inside. So that helps. I mean, you could take it out too, and you could put like a cutout of somebody inside the fishbowl as well. I'm sure it will look pretty sick. What else did I buy? I finally got that Dragon Ball. What's that line called, Pancho? That the Heroes, or was it called the
Dragon
one
Stars?
That they sell at Stars, that's what they call it. Man, I got the hit, and it is terrible. But I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it until we get to SHF. Well, you know what? It's not terrible. The arms and the legs are fine, but this torso is an absolute nightmare. Like this thing, I literally just tried to move the torso a little bit, and it just broke in half. Obviously, you could put it back together, but it was just in pieces already. Just trying to move something.
Yeah, it's an interesting. Boy, it's literally right in between like those. It's better than those old like Irwin joints, but like somehow worse. I don't know.
It's a very strange feeling messing with this figure. So I've actually never bought a single figure from this line until this one.
You know what's so funny about that line is like, the plastic they use is either like crazy soft, like all of his limbs are like super soft and super malleable, or it's like the stiffest plastic, like his torso literally just feels like, I don't even know, like the most cured plastic you've ever felt in your life. There's no in between. Like,
yeah,
like
it's really strange.
feel.
Like, it's just like you said, you feel parts of the figure and the plastic is like super strong. I mean, it's not brittle or anything, so you know it's not going to break, but it's like just really strong. And then other pieces are soft as shit.
Yeah,
like
it's weird.
It's really weird. Yeah.
So let me
Uh-huh.
let me ask a question about that line. Like the crazy thing is, a lot of those figures just appear. Like, are they showing, like, I haven't seen like any reveals of like what's coming up in the line, what characters are going to be released. It's just like you just see people in the store and they're like, boom, I got this just now. This is in.
Well,
so like, what's in the lineup? What's coming down the pipeline for them?
They keep stuff pretty tight to the vest in that. So like, the first time it was revealed was during Toy Fair, but that's just because the reveal lined up perfectly with Toy Fair. I think they were at New York Comic Con one year also.
Mm-hmm.
But like ever since then, the schedule lineup has just been super weird for when they release new lines. So I think when they revealed their newest line, or their newest iteration of characters coming out, it was gonna be during like Wonderfest. But like, Bandai didn't want to waste any slots at fucking Wonderfest showing off Dragon Stars figures. Like, why would you ever do that? So like, I think they just don't even bother showing off like half of their new reveals. I think during like a trade show, they'll show off like what's in the pipeline for like the next couple of like the whole next year. Because when they were at New York, they showed off like hints of like Zamasu and like the Builder figure, stuff like that. But there was like a leak, ironically, at GameStop about the newest line, and it's gonna have like Kava, it's gonna have Caulifla as the Builder figure and stuff like that. So it's pretty crazy.
No, that's gonna be,
I guess I'm
kind
of excited because this line, as weak as y'all are saying the plastic is, would be a good way to get some of those like hella obscure and zany characters that we saw in the tournament. Like,
exactly,
I don't see Figure Arts releasing the those wolf cats with the bandanas and shit. Like that would be kind of cool to get those guys. I mean the scarves, not bandanas.
Man, let me tell you this. This line ever gives me a Mr. Popo, I can die a happy man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'll die smiling.
I think, I mean, they got to have their moneymaker characters like Goku and Vegeta and like mainstays like that to like, obviously make the money for the line, because everybody's going to buy a Goku and Vegeta. But like, if they just start like reserving like maybe one or two spots in a wave for like definite like money makers, and then the rest of the wave just filled with like weirdos that SH Figure Arts will never ever make, like I'll be happy. Like, I don't I'll be totally happy.
And you know what? This line is very strangely popular.
Yeah, it's like, crazy popular.
I walked into my Target and I found 2 whole cases, so I was like able to search through hits to like find one with good paint, and I was like, okay, cool. I literally went back less than 48 hours later, and there was not a single figure on the pegs. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this shit is wild popular for it to disappear like that. Even Legends waves don't disappear like that. Like, if they're not brand new. And this wave has been out for quite a few months.
Yeah.
What's the price point per figure?
It's $20. So
okay,
that definitely lends to how accessible these figures are. I mean, like, because when it comes to like a Goku articulated figure, the only other place you're going to see it is in the United States market is in a Toys R Us, which we won't be seeing for long, or like or a Barnes and Noble, and then those figures are $50 or $60, and then you see a similarly articulated type of a Goku figure for $20. Like, clearly, either especially if you're like a kid and you're trying to convince your mom to drop a fucking grocery trip bill on a figure, like, no, she's not gonna do that. She's gonna buy you like a $20 Goku. So yeah, it's smart. It's
super smart. This line is really successful.
Yeah, So I'm excited for it's like the new era of like Irwin and Jax. Like, I mean, Rick and I have said it before. Irwin and Jax, like they're pretty ass at sculpting Saiyans and humans, but like when it came to like aliens and stuff like that, they have really great sculpts, and like you can really flesh out a lot of teams with the Irwin line alone. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's so many incredible figures from that line. Like, you know, you have your Bobbity, you have your King Kai, you have that one monster that's inside of Frieza's ship. I forget his name. The green guy who hides in the shadows.
It was like a big green monster, right? With like claws or something.
A big green monster inside of Bobbity's ship. Sorry.
Yeah, Bobbity.
Actually, that was the first thing I thought of when you talked about them and their sculpts on the aliens feed.
Yeah, they're fire. It's crazy how much like anything that doesn't really need to be posable is still insanely usable from those lines.
Yeah, for sure.
So
all right. So this week, what did I get? Oh, I just got General Tarkin from Star Wars Black Series yesterday, and I reviewed him actually. I guess that'll be up late tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. And I also got the Mafex Batman from the Justice League movie, which is actually pretty dope. Aside from the cape, which kind of ruins it. The fact that there's no bendy wire in the cape is kind of whack, but the figure is very nice looking. The sculpt is very nice. The articulation is nice. The head sculpt is pretty nice. They didn't really nail the face as far as giving him that kind of like 5 o'clock shadow or it really looking like Ben Affleck, but it's a good Batman figure. Still probably not the definitive Batman just yet, but it is a very solid offering from Mafex. I feel like Mafex has been getting much better, but they definitely try to make people pay for the fact that they know that they're getting better because the prices just keep going up and up and up on Mafex figures.
Yeah, that John Wick is $80 fucking.
Yeah,
wow.
Pretty much $100 once you if you order it domestically. If you're not up on your Japanese websites, then you about to pay $100 for John Wick. But their John Wick absolutely looks better than Mezco's right now, and these promo images because the Mezco John Wick suit looks like shit. But yeah, the head sculpt for the Mezco one when I saw it in person, it looked good. And I think that was the only 2 things that I got this week. Oh no, I'm lying. I got a fucking Hot Toys. I got how could I forget that? I got a gift from my man Ed. He hooked me up with the Hot Toys Spider-Man Homecoming figure, and I was actually working on a shot this whole entire week, a collage shot with that figure and some other figures and stuff like that, and I couldn't finalize it because I needed something else to kind of like accent the back, and I didn't have it, and I went to different stores, and I had to set up for like a week, and I just took that shit down. But I'm gonna revisit it hopefully this week because I'll get the part that I need. But the Spider-Man figure is dope, really nice.
I always tell people if you want to hate Hot Toys, don't buy Spider-Man figures because they're usually pretty good.
The Tom Holland head is like magnificent. And it's actually pretty damn articulated for a Hot Toys. The bagginess of the clothing really lends to this one well. You could definitely move them around a lot. I've heard quite a few people say that they like this figure better than a tech suit figure as far as the mobility is concerned. So yeah, man, I'm really happy with the figure. And the initial pictures that I took when I was working on this collage, they came out phenomenal. I think they look great, but I needed one other thing to kind of accent it, and I have to. I think I'm gonna have to buy it. I think I'm gonna have to buy like a vulture mask or some like larger vulture head to kind of like bring this all together. So I'm looking for like a cheap like vulture mask that I could use.
Do you own a lot of Hot Toys personally, Boog?
Hell no. This is only my second Hot Toys.
Okay. So
the other one's a Spider-Man 2, right?
Huh?
The other one's a Spider-Man 2, right?
No. The other one is Deadpool.
Deadpool. Okay, shit.
But I did actually pre-order Black Panther and Killmonger though. So
yeah, I still got to pre-order mine too.
3rd and 4th Hot Toys figures, but I got to get me an Iron Man at some point. When I got the Spider-Man, I immediately went to look up the Was it Mark
45?
Is it 47 that was in
Oh yeah. What is it? It's
in the movie, right? It was 47.
It's one of those in between numbers, like 47 or 46.
I think I'm pretty sure it was 47. But yo, that it's sold out everywhere and it's going for crazy money. So ironically, Bob Joint had hit me up like a few days before I got. Maybe it was like maybe one day before I got the Spider-Man figure, and he had showed me that he had got the Iron Man figure, and he was like gushing over it. All the light up parts, and then I actually went and watched what's homeboy's name, Optobotomus.
Yeah,
I watched his
whether it's filling up my cup
at his local depot.
You never gonna let that go.
It's the greatest thing in the world. It's the best.
The man made his own commercial.
Oh,
man. It's the best.
I forgot about that.
Nah, he ain't gonna never forget about that shit. Anytime somebody brings up Optobotomus, that's his immediate comeback.
It's the greatest thing in the world, man. Shout out to Optobotomus, man.
What
a power move. What a power move.
That
Get
is
your money. Get your money.
So yeah, I watched his review of the Iron Man, and it is a very, very nice figure. So I don't know if on the back end I'm able to scoop that at some point, then it's all good. But I'm really happy with the Spider-Man figure, and that was definitely my top swag of the week or what have you. So shout out to my man Ed. Appreciate you, bro. And that was it for me. Dave, what you got? Anything special?
I'm actually playing catch up on a lot of things. I'm in here in the front room of our house looking at the stuff that I copped this week. I am up to currently 8 Nikias. I did pretty good when Target had those marked down, and I'm still just been picking up some locally. I'm also playing backwards catch up on my Black Panther figures. I have him sitting on a throne, and I backing up, just trying to set the fix to chop Black Panther, the Hasbro Joy.
He's really breaking up there. He sounded like a Travis Scott song.
But he's like phasing in and out of time.
What's it called? Where they do the 3D printing, print formers type thing. And so I put that together this weekend. This figure is like massive, dude. It's like over 2 feet tall. Really, really good quality. It made me think back to the times in Transformers when cats used to do a lot of Transformers customizing. And I remember I had paid this guy one time back in the day to customize this Omega Supreme for me. Dude charged me like $500 to do it. And so now to get like one that's actually official that looks like it stepped off the screen of G1 is for like $300. It's like a no-brainer to get it. Really, really quality figure. So I know if you guys who collect Transformers haven't picked it up, you definitely should cop one. It's really good, really strong. And I ended up finding a little stash of Reed Richards. So I got like 3 of them extra in the trunk. I was excited about the notion of doing this bag man or bag head Spider-Man. Because, I'm a big Fantastic Four fan, but now that I got my squad up here on my shelf, I don't even know if I want it anymore. I did at one point have a pretty cool Spider-Man collection, but I sold off a bunch of it. If I had it as strong as it was before, I definitely would do it. And I'm even second guessing Johnny Storm to just power down Johnny Storm. I did post that pic in Plastic and Paint where I was showing off where the cat took that smirking Peter Parker face from the 2-pack. But when I got the head in after like waiting, 3 weeks for somebody to send it to me, now that I have it, I don't even know if I want to go through with getting that custom made because I like the Johnny Storm that I have in my display now. And Thanos. I got the Walmart Thanos. I haven't even really opened it yet, though, because John Paul Martinez, my man, Texas, found one for me. And Muhammad is supposed to be seeing that Infinity Gauntlet mod that he did with the how do you say that word? Swarovski crystals. How do you say it?
Which crystals? Which crystal?
It's like Swarovski.
Oh,
with an S.
the little like costume jewelry thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
So
talking
Muhammad,
about. I saw when he did that though.
Yeah, it came out looking really nice, man. It's a little subtlety, but something that adds a lot of just character to the figure. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that when I get those from him in the mail. But that's about it, man. Just a lot of odds and ends, doing some little mini army building with my little Panther display, and just filling in some gaps in my Transformer stuff. But I'm actually excited, man, because I have never, I've never even seen a Hot Toys in person, like maybe at like a show from like a distance. But I would love to see more people start to use Hot Toys in their A.C.B.A. There's a few cats that do it well. Bob Joint being the one that definitely comes to mind right away. So I am excited to put my bread down on these pre-orders for the T'Challa and the Killmonger. Those will be my first venture into the Hot Toys category. They look amazing. And I mean, for me, they've always looked really good. The technology, whatever it is they're using now to sculpt these and make these head sculpts, is just getting better and better with each release. These Iron Man figures, man, they're fucking pieces of art. Like, it's ridiculous how these figures continue to get better. But I don't know where you cats who are like hard, like Amia, I know he collects Hot Toys really big, and I just don't know where you guys find the space, man. They're beautiful, but I know they take up a lot of room.
Oh man, all of my Hot Toys are in boxes. I can't display them.
Shout out to the homie Nick who's got them on a fucking wooden
shelf.
Yeah, Nick is out here living the thuggish life with
into the streets with $300 figures though. Fuck.
But Nick, to his credit, we all know that Nick's in school, and you know what I'm saying? When Nick gets done and gets that degree and starts getting his paper, I'm confident he's gonna have a a crazy display.
Yeah, no doubt. He'll have his little toy room. But right now,
his room is about to look
at his ass though.
His room is about to look once he's graduated, man, he gets that job with that degree. His room is about to look like all the rich Chinese realtors that collect Hot Toys.
Yeah, I can see it though.
No question. That's definitely something I'm looking forward to for Nick to settle in and get his figure room and shit, because I know it's going to be tremendous though. But right now, that wooden shelf, bro, come on, man. But yeah, shout out to Nick. But yeah, man, like you were saying about like people taking pictures of Hot Toy shit. I mean, there's quite a few people in the group right now that's been heating up and leveling up with Hot Toy stuff. Sergio Santos and Trevor Williams, 1.6 shooter, who's actually in the competition this year, and
great.
Who else?
Bob Joint. Bob Joint always doing Hot Toys.
Johnny Woo.
Oh yeah, Johnny.
He just posted up one that I just liked right now.
With the fin, that fin picture, right? Yeah.
That fin.
Oh yeah.
Johnny, I thought I was looking at a poster.
No, I want to see Johnny take one of these 300 figures and use the fireworks and effects around that. That's what I want to see. Put your money where your mouth is, Johnny. I think Johnny also last year did the Hot Toy shot, if I'm correct. Didn't he do the one where it was Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes in the snow? Was that a Hot Toys figure that Johnny did last year? For Photo Combat?
Well, I don't know if they were Hot Toys figures, but I mean, yeah, they were 1.6.
They were 1.6, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, somebody fired.
Pull out the bell.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second.
But
pull out the crocodile one that you bought in a back street in Italy.
So
the gator today. You get the gator.
What happened? What happened this past week? Did anything significant happen?
Man, the dude that started up Toys R Us died.
Yeah, he heard the news and he said, "Fuck it, I'm out."
I'm out.
Rest in peace.
Fuck this shit.
Rest in peace to him. Can we get his actual official name?
Yeah,
sure.
Let's see what's up. Let's see this fella's name real quick.
But yeah, I think.
Hey man, after what happened to Ultimate Warrior in WWE, I was the believer that sometimes your heart and your mind just tell you like, "Hey man, it's enough."
Yes,
that's right. How could I forget? This guy's last name is Lazarus. Charles Lazarus.
Damn.
Wow.
He
didn't find the pit.
No, he's got the pit, son. He's coming back and he's starting up KB Toys.
This magical person randomly wants to restart KB Toys.
How old was he? 95 or 94?
He was
96.
He was born in 48. So we'll see. Let's see. And he's 94. Yeah.
94. All right. Shit, that's a long ass fucking life. If he had all of his tools in these last moments, then that was a pretty awesome life. Man. 94.
Man, if I live to 94, I'm high fiving everybody in the old folks home.
No question.
Yeah, for sure.
No question. 94 years old. That's nuts. So yeah. I guess we. Excuse me. Sorry, yeah. I guess we got an official word that Toys R Us is kaput, huh? Or are they still kind of like saying somebody might bail them out with?
Yeah, somebody might bail them out or buy them out. Apparently, still.
But,
yeah.
Website.
All of their liquidation sales say that they're through 6/30, so June 30th.
And as far as I can tell, the liquidation sale ain't much of a fucking liquidation sale right now.
Hell no.
I went into my True yesterday or the day before yesterday. They had like 10% off a bunch of shit. I'm like, 10%?
It's 10, yeah. It's crazy.
What?
Bunch of scalpers and flea marketers over at my True just salivating at 10% off.
You know, it was a lot of parents in there shopping with kids and stuff like that. I didn't really see too many like people from our ilk, I guess, but it was you know, I guess they figured they were getting some type of deal. I saw a lot of fucking pops on sale. Like, ooh.
God.
Man, I'll tell you this: at my Toys R Us, there was literally almost like nothing in the video game section, and it's not discounted at all. It's just empty for no reason. Like, they must have just stopped stocking the video games like a month ago or something, and people just like slowly bought everything because there's like nothing there.
Yeah, I've heard rumors that Trues they just stopped getting shipments in a couple of weeks ago. They're like, fuck it, I'm not even wasting the gas.
It has to be it because these Trues don't have anything. I've gone to a few and they don't have anything. Yeah. And it's not like there's no sales. I don't think I've personally, at least none around me, have more than a 10% off sale. And in California, that's barely tax. So you're not like getting any sort of discount.
Raspberry Chainsaw just said in chat that True has a court date in April for One Last Chance, apparently.
Really?
Oh shit! Yeah. Raspberry Chainsaw is up on game.
What does that mean, though? Does that mean that possible investors have to show up to this court date or be there via Skype or some shit? Or I wonder how that works.
It's gonna be like a benefit dinner. They're gonna auction off. They're gonna auction off a date with True.
Who wants to buy the domain name? Who wants to buy the domain name? Who wants to buy the domain name?
I saw a post. I don't know if it was official or not, since we in this era of Facebook and fake news and Russians coming and getting into our democracy and shit. I don't know, but I saw a post about the executives of Toys R Us about to get broken off with some crazy severance or something like that.
That's what I heard as well. Yeah.
That is millions.
So
sorry, I'm back. I had to step away for a quick second.
No doubt. But I don't know how that works. I mean, severance is pretty that's pretty normal. I don't know if that's any like crazy like thing to look at to say that they're doing something nefarious, like, but I don't know if that's bad or not. I mean, are we saying that general managers at Toys R Us should be getting broken off with crazy severance packages? Or I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I feel like
if you got people who won't have a job next week, 2 weeks.
Right.
There's no severance for the employees.
I think at the very least, the store managers should get a little something,
Yeah, no doubt. The store manager.
I just don't know how you do it in a way that's fair, because let's say Boog is the executive, Rick sits on the board of directors, P is a store manager, and I'm an employee. And if your Toys R Us are like some of the Toys R Us's out here, there are some cats that have worked there for years.
Yeah, that's very true.
And so what does that messaging look like for Rick to get broken off because he's on the board of directors. Boog gets broken off because he's an executive. P gets broken off because he's a general manager or manager of the store. And then everybody's looking at me like, all right, David, good luck in your endeavors. You know what I'm saying? So it's a cold game, and I get it. It's not like corporate bailouts and bonuses and all these other things is nothing new, but it really does affect a lot of people, man, because we're talking about, I get it, and a lot of people were affected talking about the nostalgia factor and like not being able to take their kids to a Toys R Us, but you're talking about a company that employed 33,000 people across the country, yo, and 33,000, that's a lot of people to be out of a job. And we just found out, I'm sure the same way they did. I'm sure they got a memo and they were like, yo, over the next month, we're going to be liquidating and it's a wrap. And I mean, the economy, depending on who you ask, some people say it's getting better. Some people say it's getting worse. But to be told, you know what I'm saying? 3 months after the Christmas holidays that the company that you worked for no longer exists? That's crazy.
Yeah. And it sucks too, because I mean, yeah, anyone who's been around a child lately knows that they don't give a shit about toys. Well, most of them don't. Like, I mean, people who have kids in our community don't count because we live the toy world, and obviously the kids end up picking up on it, so we don't count. But the populace of children don't give a damn about toys anymore. But even so, like when you look at Toys R Us's numbers, they were never actually that bad. They were actually in the black last year, but they were just, the people who bought out Toys R Us just has terrible debt. And there was just no way to get past it. Apparently, since they were bought out, they've paid like $300 million almost a year to try to come back, and it didn't work.
Well, I don't know what we're gonna see take its place. I heard
you lose your job in a situation, and because it's a toy store in the toy industry, like where do you even bounce back to? What are you putting on your resume? Like where do you shift to? Do you just go get?
I guess you try to work directly for a toy company or something.
Coming back, shout out to John Papa Sergio when Toys R Us actually announced that they were going to be liquidating. That was one of the first things that John said. He was like, you know, I see this opening the door, the window, whatever, for a smaller toy company to come in, because the idea of just having no toy stores at all, like your point.
Yeah, you breaking up.
Tell him, Travis.
You be clear as fuck, and then you just start breaking up.
I wonder if to him we're breaking up.
You just blew my mind.
Who knows?
Yeah, but this, whether KB comes back or not, I think somebody, I don't know how soon it's going to be, because we just found out that they were closing like super quickly. I think somebody's going to end up taking their place, like in a small way, probably. I just don't think.
I mean, we still gonna have plenty of toys in Target and Walmart and Walgreens and places like that. I mean, it's not going to be the selection of Toys R Us, obviously, but
a destination for toys.
You know.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy to even think that Walgreens is like a major player in the toy arena now when it comes to like collectors having a spot to go and get exclusives and things like that. Who would have saw that coming like 5 years ago?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, their selections are still pretty shitty overall, but yeah, at least it is another option when you want your toy run, though, no question.
You know what's crazy and that like kind of annoyed me was that Walgreens bought out CVS like 2 years ago, and I thought to myself, sick, we're about to get the toy stock that Walgreens has in CVS too. We're about to get doubled up. And that absolutely did not happen. No. CVS's toys still suck eggs.
Yeah. CVS toys sucks. Remember when Rite Aid used to be the spot for toys?
Oh my God, Rite Aid was that's where I saw Dragon Man and that motorcycle Johnny. I was clowning him. I was like, who wants to buy a Human Torch with a bike? I was like, man, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I was like, Dragon Man, what kind of inventive name is this?
How do you Annihilus? Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Annihilus. Me and Solid Snake literally found those figures in the same store, except he bought them and I just clowned them and look like a clown now.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I could
Stopped
see
in to get a 99-cent Arizona.
I could see them doing a Dragon Man again, but I don't think it'll be as good as Toy Business though. The detail and everything on that figure is still pretty tremendous, man.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild. You ever held one in hand? It's really good. It's not the crazy money. It's worth going, but it's really good figure. Super
It's solid.
well
It's like
sculpted. A lot of
hella
articulation.
heavy.
Yeah, it's a lot of
I had
plastic,
one and stole mine.
mad detail. It's actually pretty relatively good articulation. You know, it's actually a very good figure that still holds up today. And how old is Dragon Man? What year did Toy Biz drop Dragon Man? Probably like 2004, 2003, 2004, maybe.
Something like that.
So we're looking at almost
It was around the time of the first movie.
almost a 20-year-old figure, almost 14, 15 years or something like that. So yeah, man, let's we got a half hour before the top of the hour. Let's go through some of these photo combat questions. I'm actually run through the questions that will appear on the FAQ on the website, and I guess we figured that these were some of the most frequently asked questions, obviously. And just to say, photo combat third strike, the first round is sidekick save, which the entries for that round are due this evening at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Anything that comes in after that time will be late. You will be docked, but you still will have, I guess, up to another 12 hours to submit a late entry, and you know you'll be docked. Anything after that, you will be eliminated. So,
yeah. Shout out to everybody who's already got their entries in. I'm actually going through all the entries right now, uploading everything. If you are hearing this, I would just say for future entries, if you can just make sure that you label your files and your pictures as A side, B side, C side. I've actually messaged some of you guys back. It is actually a little challenging when you have like over 100 entrants into the contest and you're trying to like decide between like, okay, is this their A side? Is this their B side? People are sending details in like the body of their email, and they'll be like, the first pick is my A side. The second pick at the lower angle with the foam, that's my B side. But when the pictures come in, sometimes it'll like remix the order. So just to make sure that everything is straight and nobody's upset or like, hey, the picture that you posted, that was my A side. That was actually my B side. Just make sure that you label those joints in the file so that when they come through, it clearly states A, B, and C on the photo itself. But other than that, thank you for everybody for getting the entries in. A lot of stuff looks really good. I'm excited to share that with all of you guys.
So yeah, just moving through some of the questions here. One of the frequently asked questions, can I do panels? No, unless panels are the theme for that round. There's one pick per round, per contestant per round. There is one theme in the competition in the third round that that allows you to use panels or tells you have to use panels as part of the theme. And that's the only round in the competition in which you would use panels. So if you were to come in round one with a shot that's 3 shots, basically, if it's panels, then pretty much you have an unfair advantage because you have 3 pictures to tell your story as opposed to everybody else who put up 1 picture. So that's why you can't use panels unless the round calls for panels. All right. I hope that's clear. Another very frequently asked question is, where are the brackets? You will not see brackets until round 2. There are no actual specific matchups in round 1. It's pretty much like a battle royale style competition, and we did it like this because we wanted to get the maximum amount of people to be involved, for one, because quite frankly, that means more money that we can give away at the end of the competition, and for 2, if some people flake or if they don't do what they're supposed to do, then it's not a screwed up matchup, and we can actually eliminate whatever amount is over 128 contestants in that first battle royal round, and then in round 2 the brackets will show up. So don't worry about it right this moment. It should be a relief for most people that all you have to do is stand on your own merit and put up the display, and if you score well and you're not in that bottom 28 or 38 contestants, 28 or 30 contestants, then you'll be fine. You'll be moving on to round 2, and then you will get matched up. But understand, if you make it through this round, this is where the competition really heats up and where things really actually, start to take shape. So everybody was asking and asking about the brackets. The brackets don't matter. You still got to put your best foot forward so you can get through the competition. This is a marathon. This is not a sprint. You got to take your time and put your best foot forward on each leg of the race here. Walter, you want to say anything about these two questions so far?
No, I think you handled it well, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people were thrown off. I've heard people say things like, "Well, knowing who you're going up against adds extra fuel to the fire. Knowing who you're battling allows you to space to talk smack and blah blah blah." Like all of those things are cool, and all of those things are kind of like part of what makes photo combat what it is. But you also can't look over, or overlook the surprise factor. And in each year, we've always had surprises and things that come up throughout the tournament. It just so happens that this year, for the first time, we had one of the surprises be right at the onset of the tournament. And I won't lie in saying that we was all feeling our Dragon Ball Super hype a little bit, but we came up with the idea to do the Battle Royale in the beginning, kind of just to, put everybody in one big battlefield and basically be like, have at it, go at it, and see what happens at the outcome. So I'm excited for it, man.
You reminded me too. I put up a video last night on my channel going through the first tier of the competition and the first two prizes that we gave out. So we gave out prizes for the first, we did a drawing for the first 50 people who signed up for the competition and the first 100 people who signed up for the competition. And already we have two winners before the competition officially kicks off. So shout out to Tyler Harl, who won a Mezco Logan as one of the first 50 people to sign up for the competition. So no matter what, no matter what happens for him in this competition, for $13, he just won a fucking Mezco figure. So big shout out to him. And shout out to who was the second winner? Oh, Tommy Salts won $50 in Big Bad Toy Store credit. So he turned his $13.75 into $50 in Big Bad Toy Store credit. Shout out to Big Bad Toy Store, who has always supported us in every single competition that we've ever done so far, except for maybe like the very first thing where I didn't have any relationship with them at that time. But so that's the first two tiers of prizes, and there will be many more prizes. There'll be more prizes in round 1 and 2 and so on and so forth. And it's a lot of stuff to give out. And it's a lot of we haven't even locked down. We haven't even solidified all of the, we haven't said what prizes are going to go to what just yet. And that's not something that we normally put out at the beginning. So just stay tuned. Like David said, it's going to be a lot of surprises and different things like that. It's a lot of prizes to give out. It's a ton of prizes, as always, to give out, physical prizes, and then that cash at the end of the competition, which leads me to the next frequently asked question: where does my entry fee go? I talked about this a little bit a few minutes ago. All of the entry fees that were put in, the $13.75. Most of that money, the bulk of that money, goes towards the cash prize at the end of the competition, which is the bulk of that money goes to the person who is the photo combat champion. Second and third place will probably get broken off with a little something, and then some of that money is also used to buy the trophies for the winners, and then just little odds and ends and general expenses and things to pay for promotion and stuff like that. Is how the money is broken down, just so you know where the money goes. So that $13.75 is for you to enter, but it's pretty much like you putting down your wager on the prizes and the cash and the competition, basically. So I think we went over this already. When is my entry due? I just said that a few minutes ago. First round entries are due this evening, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. Anything after that will be 12 a.m. and it'll be the 26th of March, and you'll be late. So make sure you get your entry in. You've still got 5.5 hours or something like that. And does my B and C side shot get scored? No, your B and C side shots are pretty much for the judges to see a different angle of your A side shot and to see how you set up everything. If it was something that was totally boggling their minds and they couldn't figure out how you did it, you'll show that in your C side shot to say, listen, I did this tangibly. This is how I did it. Here's a picture of it. And that's that. So again, like David said a few minutes ago, make sure you label each shot. Every attachment should be labeled, or if it's a drive, the attachments in the drive should be labeled as your A, B, and C side shot. All right, don't write it in the body and expect us to sift through 160 shots and trying to figure out whose A side is which and whose B side is which. And all that good stuff. What do I put in the subject of my entry for my submission? You're going to put Photo Combat Third Strike round 1, or simply just put PK3 round 1 in the subject of your emails. And you should probably put your moniker that you're competing under in the body of the email as well.
Yes, I reiterate that because there are a lot of people that I'm also messaging right now that some of y'all cats got real names, code names, Instagram names. And so it's like 4 different names that I'm seeing in an email. So that would help out as the competition continues, just to keep everything situated. Put your moniker that you're competing under in the subject line as well, after you put PK3, round 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and then the name that you compete under. Helps out a lot.
Where do I email my entry? You're going to email your entry to acba.photocombat@gmail.com. That information is in your packet. Also, in that video that I put up last night, I let people know that there was an updated document that you can download by simply going to the A.C.B.A website. There's a tab at the very top of the website that says Photo Combat. You click that, and you can download the updated document. And that document has the email that you send your entry to. The original document had that. There was just a few changes that we made on that. The most changes that we made on that was about the scoring. We upped the amount of points each category is worth, just so it was better for the judges to score the rounds, basically. So you can download that updated document. That should not affect anything that you've done so far or will do in the next 5.5 hours. So don't worry about that. But you should absolutely go to the A.C.B.A website and download that. And another question here: can a cutout be an effect? Sure, a cutout can double as an effect. An ECO, or elemental cutout, or element cutout, is considered an effect. So if it's a cutout of fire or energy blast or some sort of magical incantation or something like that, it's a cutout, but it's also an effect. But you should cover all your bases and still make sure you have some clear effects that are not cutouts and cutouts that are not effects, or whatever the case may be. While something like that does double as a cutout and effect could kind of sway the judge in a way, if you really finesse it and do it in a real clever way, that's good. But cover all your bases. Make sure you have a variety of different things, and make sure you have your props and your backdrop is sound, and there's no lapse in your backdrop, and everything is there. You got at least 2 characters. Make sure you have articulated figures, and so on and so forth. Another question: do I have to include a cutout? Yes, you need at least 1 cutout in every setup and every display. This is articulated comic book art, so you got to stick to the script as far as that's concerned. What type of file can I send? Can I send a Google Drive? Yes, you can send your files in a Google Drive if they're too large. You do not need to format your pics or change the size of your pics. Send them as is. If something is wrong with the formatting or the size, or we can't upload it to the events tab and the form that you send it, then somebody will send you an email and let you know. All right. If that goes over the time or something, if you've already submitted it and it's on us and we couldn't get it, then don't worry about that. You'll be fine. But send the photos as is. You don't need to resize them. If you need to use Google Drive because the images are large, that's totally fine. No problem there. And for panels, I guess I could talk about this. I mean, we're not up to that round just yet. Some people may not make it to that round, but in the round that you do use panels, you do need to still provide C side or B and C side for your each shot within your panels as well too. So yeah, you're gonna have quite a few shots to submit, but you got to cover all the bases. That is that's the checks and balances for your setup. That's how you check your work, basically. It's like a math equation. So we need to see your work. You got to show your work, basically. Can I use custom figures? Yes, you can absolutely use custom figures. It's welcome. This you know, that might lend to the creativity portion of your scoring. Somebody who's used a lot of custom figures in competitions in the past. I remember the year that Craig Warwick won the world tournament. He used a bunch of his own custom work throughout the tournament, and he put up a lot of phenomenal shots. So shout out to Craig Warwick. What happens if I don't post a C or B side? You run the risk of elimination, as there are no, you know, there's no proof that the shot was done tangibly and you didn't follow the rules. So don't forget your B and C side shots. Do all the figures have to be articulated? No, I kind of touched on that a little bit. It's okay for you to use some static figures or some different things, but remember, you need at least 2 characters in the shot, and you have to have at least one articulated figure in the shot. You can't just put up a photo with statues. It's just, you can't do that. But if you have some type of static figure or something like that to just kind of accent your display or in some creative way, then that's totally fine. But you do need at least one articulated figure, and you need at least 2 characters, and that's how you go. Can I make brightness color contrast changes after taking a shot? Yes, you can change your JPEG to a PNG, for instance, if you want to get a more crispier shot and you want your shot to look good, or you can mess with the contrast or the coloring or the exposure or the lighting to make your shot look more crisp, but you cannot digitally add or remove anything or Photoshop anything into the pic or do any glowing eyes or anything like that, or glowing repulsor chest plate for Iron Man. You can't do any stuff like that. It's got to pretty much look how it would look in person in the picture. But again, you can kind of mess with the color and contrast, brightness, stuff like that. But you know, you can't take it beyond that. You can't go overboard as far as that is concerned. Can I share my entry anywhere? You cannot share your entry until after that particular round is scored. All right. Once the scores come out for that particular round, if you want to show off your entry and say, hey, this is the one that got me through to the next round, or this is the one that won me this prize, or whatever the case may be, that's totally fine. But you can only do that after the scores for that round have come out. Okay. I think that's it. Any other questions that you guys might have heard, or any questions from people in the
Yeah, I'm actually making a post right now in Plastic and Paint. If anybody would like to pose some additional questions, actually, I'll do better than that. I'll leave it on the actual link to the podcast here on A.C.B.A. If you would like to pose any additional questions during the duration of the podcast, you can post them there, and we'll try to read them and address them throughout the remainder of the podcast, maybe at the end. Is that cool, Boog?
Well, we got 20 more minutes before we get up out of here. But yeah, everything that I just read right now will appear on the A.C.B.A. website as well, and they'll be there for the duration of the competition. So everything that I just said will actually be in text format on the A.C.B.A. website for the duration of the competition. And that download for the updated document will change to the bracket in round 2, and then the bracket for round 3, and that'll change, and you'll be able to download the bracket from the A.C.B.A. website once we move past round 1 as well. So everything is laid out. I know it seemed like shit was a little choppy, or we weren't telling you anything, and we weren't. That's how Photo Combat works. We don't tell you every single thing that happened and every move that we make as far as Photo Combat goes. It's on you to just stick to the script as far as the rules are concerned and get your entry in. That's it. All you got to do is come out, put your best foot forward, and get to this money and get to these prizes. That's all you got to do. We got any questions down there about Photo Combat or anything else? Because we out of here at 7 o'clock sharp.
Someone asked when will we see everyone's PK3 entries? Like, there will be like a separate group made for that, correct? Or an event page?
It's going to be an events tab. I think we might actually post them. Being that Instagram now has this thing where you could post dual pictures and shit like that, I think that we might actually post them up on IG as well too, just for view and pleasure, basically. But there is an events tab on the Facebook fan page where they will show up. All the matchups will show up. Well, it won't be matchups. It'll just be one shot after another for round 1. But moving forward, it'll be the actual matchups on the events tab. So the events tab, and I think they'll show up on the A.C.B.A. Instagram as well.
Yeah. Also, if you want to take a look at PK2 or PK1, you can just look at past events, and then they'll show up as well.
Yes, yes, definitely. You know what? I think I'll put links to that stuff in the group in Plastic and Pain and whatever, because sometimes it's hard for people to click through and find the events tab. But yeah, you definitely can view past competitions as well.
That. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. Other than, again, if you've already paid your entry fee, or more importantly, if somebody sponsored you, shout out to all the people who sponsored a participant for PK3. Make sure that you guys get those entries in. We don't want to have any gaps, if at all possible. You know, you miss all the shots that you don't take. So this
Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Michael Scott.
Yes, the sensei. But that statement holds true with this tournament as well. You know, it's a really good time to just show what we're all about. We do have a lot of people that are watching Photo Combat. You know, we just had the article that was, or the feature rather, that was done in Mashable. I know that staff is watching us. We also have some people that work over at Netflix, the Toys That Made Us, that are going to be watching the Photo Combat entries really closely. So again, you know, there's just an opportunity for you as an individual photographer and artist to shine. Definitely for A.C.B.A. to show the community, the toy collecting world and community, what we're all about. So come out, man. Bring your A game. We're excited to have as many participants. This is the most participants that we've had in any of the previous Photo Combats. So it's a good time, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, so cool. We're my bad. I know I cut out. Where we headed next? We got 17 minutes.
Jim B asked if we saw that 1/12 scale Templar figure. We had a thread about it in PNP actually.
Yeah, we did.
Looks sick.
A lot of people are excited. A lot of things to do with some Templar Knights.
Yeah. Revo is doing like full armored knights. Revoltech is doing full armored knights. They showed it at WonderCon a couple of weeks ago. They're going to come with horses too. Well, I don't know if they're coming with horses, but there's horses in the line. So that's pretty sick. I think like aside from like Mythic Legion, like nobody is really doing knights, you know, and I think that's like a really great space to go ahead and do that, especially like soft goods knights. That's crazy. I think the only problem a lot of people are having is there's no ankle pivot or articulation at all in the ankles for those. It's kind of whack, but like, I mean, small price to pay, I guess.
Like Berserk, you're about to go ham on these Revoltech Knights.
No,
yeah. It's actually perfect timing with a lot of the Berserk figures getting re-released to release some Knights, so that's smart play. And I know our friends over at Articulated Icons, I know that Knights was a big suggestion. Knights and Cowboys, actually, I believe were the big, and of course, soldiers, like G.I. Joe type soldiers, were the big requested items for their next wave of figures. The versatility and the ability to be able to reuse parts and do different colors and things like that out of a line is a smart play. So hopefully we'll see more of that.
You want to know something that's crazy, David, is I don't know what he does for the company, but one of the guys from Articulated Icons has Griffith's Mark of the Demon on his neck. The sacrifice mark on his neck.
Wow.
I don't know what he does there, but he's one of them because his badge at Comic-Con when he was at the panel Icons, and he had that mark on his neck.
That's good. That's a much better tattoo to have on your neck than the possessed demonic horse. That is,
oh my god.
That is a shout out to all of our Berserk fans out there who got that joke. That went a little dark for us. I'm sorry. But that's good business, man. What else we got going on? Oh, P, you were going to talk a little bit about the Pacific Rim sequel. No, spoiler-free thoughts.
Spoiler-free. I mean, disclaimer. First of all, Boog, what did you think? You're the only other guy here.
I wasn't even actually like geared up to see it. My girl was just like, "Hey, I got this like I don't know if it was like some type of app or something. It was some type of coupon thing. She was like, we could see Pacific Rim right now for like $30 or something, like me, her, and my daughter."
Nice.
I was like, all right, fuck it, let's go right now. And we'll go and, get some dinner or whatever. We'll just eat out afterwards or whatever. So that's what we did. So it was kind of on a whim. I wasn't really like prepared for it or like whatever, but it was fun. It was a fun, like sort of movie to see with the family. It wasn't like over the top, like gratuitous, like blood and guts and whatever. It was a lot of like little funny moments and stuff like that. But it was kind of all over the place, though. It was like a lot of little like plot holes and it seemed like it was. I don't really remember the first Pacific Rim too much, but I do remember that it seemed way more serious than this one. This one seemed like it was like kind of popcorn, like like I don't know. It didn't seem as serious and as intense as the first one to me. But I'm not a huge Pacific Rim fan. I'm not like crazy about it. So I might be off. Something might be wrong. I don't know. But it seemed there was a lot of plot holes to me though.
I'm totally with you. And Pacific Rim, the first Pacific Rim is literally one of my favorite movies of all time. So like coming in it from that kind of mindset, like I mean, I'm with you. There definitely were a lot of plot holes. A lot of the stuff that they were doing in the first one almost directly like collide with plot points from the first movie. It's pretty weird. I mean, I understand it's 10 years later and stuff like that, but I don't know. There's just like the biggest complaint I see with a lot of people is the Jaegers were like mad fast. They were like crazy fast. Like they didn't even seem like the physics of them didn't seem like they were 10-story tall robots. They were just like regular dudes just hanging out street level, just like moving fast. And I understand that like it's an anime influenced property, period, like heavily like Gundam and Mazinger and stuff like that, and like Ultraman, and like all these guys move like crazy fast in the anime and stuff. But like when you're adapting it, especially for how well the first movie adapted like the weight and like the gravity behind every single like movement of all the Jaegers in the first one, it was just a little underwhelming to see them moving so nonchalantly and fast and stuff like that. Like the sequel Jaeger, though not the sequel Jaeger, but that red Jaeger that looked like Crimson Typhoon almost.
It looked like which one? The one that kind of looked that was like ninja-esque?
Yeah. It would have been the best if that was the only Jaeger that was mad fast. Like, because in the story, it's the fastest Jaeger in the program. But like they all just moved like super fast. I mean, I'm with you in terms of like the tone. The first one wasn't. I think the first one in terms of tone was like the perfect middle ground because it didn't take itself too seriously, but in the world it created, it took itself seriously in that aspect. And
I mean, as far as I remember from the first one, the only lighthearted elements were like the Charlie Day character, correct?
Yeah, it's just him and his him and like
subplot.
Yeah, there's that was super lighthearted, and in the second one, like all of his scenes are like cranked to like 11, and it's so funny because I saw it with my wife, and she had never seen the first one. Hilarious! What a great heel turn for my wife because she was talking mad shit when the first one came out. So shout out to her because she loves this movie now. But she was just all like, "Oh, the second one was so cool. Like Charlie Day's character was like really wild. Like he's so crazy." And I was like, "Yeah, but I mean, like in the first, it's interesting because like in the first movie, all of his stuff was like crazy lighthearted. In the second movie, it's like cranked to like 13.
Go ahead.
And like, I mean, it makes sense and all the stuff. I just feel like the second movie was just trying to get like a broader audience, like it's still trying to be a niche movie, but apply to everyone. It's interesting. I don't know.
I will say what it did do, or what I did really like was the action sequences were cool. The fight scenes and everything were actually pretty cool, but like you said, the fluid motions of the Jaegers might have been a little too fluid. I'm with you there. It was like too good, but the fight scenes were actually pretty cool. I didn't like the motivation of like the villain. Like it didn't like certain shit just didn't make any sense at all. But I didn't take it. It didn't bother me too much because I didn't have too much invested in it. To me, it was a fun movie that I could see with my daughter. That wasn't like showing tits and like crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was fun.
I mean, I liked the movie, like, but it's extremely. It's the sequel to one of my favorite movies of all time. So, unless it's as good as that, like, I already knew that I wasn't gonna like it. Now I know exactly. I always love movies. Like, whenever we talk about films, I'm always like the fucking dude that's out here like, oh, I love that movie, and everybody's like, this movie was trash. So now I know exactly what you guys are talking about.
Sign me up to that camp. Anytime I tell people that I like Iron Man 3.
Oh yeah, yeah. Your movie taste. Look, your movie taste is trash. I don't want to hear anything.
Yeah, I hated Iron Man 3, but I will say
get this guy off the.
I will say that the movie made me want to get more of the figures, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Made me want to like do more setups with the figures and like really do a lot of like MSD stuff, and like I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of Pacific Rim stuff throughout this competition, because it definitely hypes you up and gets your wheels turning for displays. There's no question about that.
Yeah, and if you want, oh, go ahead.
Nah, go ahead, P.
If you want a kaiju, you better act fast, because those guys are mad expensive on the aftermarket.
Word.
They are crazy expensive.
I watched the review of the not the Robot Spirits one. What's the Solo Chigogan?
Yes, that's
Gypsy
Danger.
Gypsy Danger the other day, and it was I really like it, man. It was lacking a little bit, maybe in the articulation department for the more expensive version of Solo Chigogan version, but I liked it though, man, and I would be okay with getting that and maybe that the one of the kaiju, or maybe the main kaiju. You know what I'm saying? But it's expensive.
Solo Chigogan, like, you can think of it almost as like the Hot Toys of mech stuff. Like, they look crazy good, but the articulation isn't as good. But you'll totally it's acceptable just because of how detailed and how like crazy good all those figures are.
And don't get me wrong, the Robot Spirits versions, I reviewed some of them on my channel. They fucking move really nicely, and you can absolutely fuck around with them and not worry about anything breaking and this and that. And it's easier for you to do displays that look massive that are small with that scale of figures. So you know.
Yeah.
So,
with that said, I'm gonna pivot just a second. I'm monitoring the time also. I enjoyed Pacific Rim, the first one. I really enjoyed Guillermo del Toro's cinematography and his directing style, but I'm still holding out hope that these movies will be successful enough for Western audiences to get us a live action Voltron. Like, I am being hella selfish. Transformers made a lot of money, but those movies fucking sucked. The Pacific Rim made enough money and had enough fan acclaim, especially overseas, to warrant a sequel. And I really, really hope that these rumors that they are going to be making a live action Voltron come to fruition, because I think that will be the giant mech like film that a lot of people will really latch onto for nostalgia reasons, and they just
sign me up.
Yeah,
I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. I feel like a lot of shit. Obviously, we know this. A lot of shit that's come out, you know, as of past 10 years or so in pop culture, whatever the case may be, it depends on whether or not they can sell merchandise with that, and you know, with merchandise action figures, like, you know what I'm saying. So no question they could sell a bunch of Voltron shit. So yeah.
And don't let none of this stuff fool you because it's on Netflix. Is probably their most successful animated project they've done. I was sitting at Comic-Con. I think I've said the story even before, where works guy, and they said that they were shocked. They're like, dude, we can't believe so popular that they were, would you guys want us to bring back this show and this show? And we were just sitting there like, what the fuck? Voltron was this popular when you guys put it on Netflix? And he said that it's unreal, the popularity of that show.
And She-Ra's coming as a result of the success of Voltron. We're getting a remade She-Ra on Netflix. So those toys are also flying off the shelves. Check your Targets, because I actually saw today that they have the classic Voltron sets on clearance right now. They marked them down this weekend.
Damn,
yeah, a lot of shit's on clearance.
All right, so with that said, I guess we could take one more question if we got another question down there. And we're going to get up out of here for tonight.
Boog trying to see this Stormy Daniels boy.
Let me tell you this. You're going up against the president. You better be holding aces.
Hey,
no, my daughter's not feeling well, and I got to get her. I got to get her situated. It's that kind of hour right now where she's not feeling well, and I don't know if it's gonna go over into tomorrow, and that means she's gonna have to miss a day of school or what. So like, Pep is in my ear, and like you already know how that goes. So
we know.
Standing behind me right now, pointing at her imaginary watch on her hands. So.
Wrap it up.
I'm scrolling back up. Do we see any more PK3 questions?
I did. I think the only last one was the follow-up to when will we see the photos be put up? Like, when will that specifically be? It'll be shortly after the round is completed. So shortly after.
Yeah, and actually, you might actually start seeing them late tonight, but I want to say by noon tomorrow or something like that. So, don't quote me on that, but it may be late tonight once the time expires or what have you. We'll see what happens. It's a lot of photos to put up.
I'm gonna try to make it happen. Tomorrow, I do start a new job, so.
Where are you working at?
What's the address?
Yeah, we'll talk about that on the next podcast. But I'm gonna try to get everybody sorted tonight, so that way we can, people who stay up late. But if it doesn't happen tonight, no pitchforks, no torches. They will definitely be up tomorrow, if not tonight. Someone asked the question also: can we post up the themes on the fan page so that people who aren't can see what's ahead and what to look forward to? I don't know. We've never done that before.
I don't know. The first theme is out there. And the events tab for this first round was just created maybe like an hour ago. So that's up there. That's up there. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's not really just to be frank, it's not really for the public right now. It's for the contestants. So they can plan out there.
Yeah, I think I kind of like it the way it is too. I think I like that as people that are participating, they get to know, but for people that are just like watching and kind of like spectating, you kind of find out what's coming up when it's coming up. And I kind of like that aspect of it.
Yeah, me too, actually.
So stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right, so with 1 minute left.
So
do what we do.
I don't really have any plugs. I mean, Photo Combat. It's all about Photo Combat right now. The last A.C.B.A cutout pack shipped, so everybody should be receiving those in the next day or so if you haven't already. That's that. Flight stands should be available within the next month or so. And it's all about Photo Combat right now. Just look out for Photo Combat updates. Follow us on Instagram. Like the fan page and join us in the group on Facebook. And join the Dire Structure group as well. I got 2 sick dioramas coming up too. I can't wait for them. But I'll talk about that later. P, you got anything going on?
Nothing going on. For me, just focusing on Photo Combat.
All right, no doubt. So big shout out and thanks to P for all his help throughout the preliminary stages of this competition as well. And that's it. I guess we out of here at 7 on the dot. Next week we should be back. Shout out to Jake. I hope he gets his things situated. He was supposed to be here, but he had a little car trouble. So hopefully he'll be back next week, and we will be back next week. And thanks for hanging out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.